A child is killed and a man is now charged with murder. We're bringing you live updates as the story unfolds. And we're bringing you live to the scene of a serious car crash in Colchester. We're breaking down what we know so far.
Now, Channel 3 Eyewitness News begins with breaking news.
Good morning, everyone. Thanks so much for joining us this morning. It is Friday, May 2nd. I'm Tracy McCain. We'll have more on that breaking news in just a moment. But first, let's get a check of your first alert forecast with meteorologist Scott Haney. Storms were this morning.
You drove through it. I drove through it. This was moving through the state. It's right now on the 395 corridor, exiting into Rhode Island. So the lightning and thunder is almost done. Give us about another 20 minutes, and this will be into Rhode Island and out of the state, and then we're good to go for the remainder of the day. But we do turn our attention to two first alert weather days. One is tomorrow. The next is Tuesday. So tomorrow, the threat for some strong to severe storms exists, and that's going to have an impact on outdoor plans, particularly in the afternoon and in the evening. And then Tuesday, rain, heavy at times, 1 to 2 inches of rain on the way for Tuesday. Tomorrow, we're at level 1 for receiving some of those stronger storms. This is according to the Storm Prediction Center out of Norman, Oklahoma, level 1. Now, if you're going to the game tonight, you are in great shape. 74, 67 with partly cloudy skies. Looks like a great day. Get out there and enjoy it. Temperatures close to 80 degrees today with partial sunshine. We just got to get rid of this murkiness that we've got out there this morning. Give us until about 9, 10, 11 o'clock this morning, and then things will turn partly sunny. Your 7-day forecast is coming up next. In the meantime, Marcy Jones joins us with a check of those roads.
Good morning, Scott. Good morning, everybody. Unfortunately, I have to give you the first alert on something that's happening on the road. So this is in Colchester. This is Deep River Road, closed between Jan Drive and Marvin Road. So this is a serious single car crash. Your reporter, Roger Suzanen, is on scene. He's been in touch with authorities, and we'll have much more information coming up in just a few minutes, so stick with us. Other than that, you may have noticed on the map a little bit earlier, not so much overnight construction as we've been seeing earlier this week. Take a look. Everything else is flowing very smoothly, and our drive times are normal. I'm Marcy Jones with your Connecticut Chevy First Alert Traffic Report, driven by your Connecticut Chevy dealers.
Well, this morning, a major police investigation along the shoreline. A child is dead and a man now charged with murder. We're staying on top of that heartbreaking news from Branford, where police continue to try to piece it all together. Matt McFarland is your reporter covering New Haven County. He's live from the scene in Branford with what we know at this hour. Good morning.
Good morning, Tracy. Well, you can see behind me there is still a large police presence here at this condo complex in Branford. The Connecticut State Police Major Crimes Van, they are still here. Investigators here since yesterday afternoon dealing with this horrific discovery.
We didn't know what was going on. We really didn't know. We were just all concerned.
Branford neighbors distraught over learning the disturbing news. Anthony Andrew Esposito Jr. behind bars, accused of killing a child and trying to kill another family member at this Branford condo complex Thursday. The 52-year-old Branford man is charged with murder with special circumstances. The victim, under the age of 16, along with criminal attempt to commit murder. Branford police tell us out of respect for the victim's family and due to the sensitive nature of the case, no additional details will be released at this time. But we're told police are working closely with Branford Public Schools to ensure grief counselors and support resources are available to students and staff impacted by this heartbreaking loss. The alleged crime causing shock and disbelief for those who live here.
9 cruisers, and there's other police cars, and there's a homicide unit. I said, homicide? And it's like, wait a minute, you know, really, do you see something like that?
Now, Esposito is being held on a $3 million bond. It's expected that he will be back. He will be in court later today. Your reporter live in Branford, Matt McFarland, Channel 3 Eyewitness News.
All right, Matt, thank you. We'll stay on top of the story all morning. And right now, more breaking news in Colchester, where police have closed a portion of Deep River Road. Your reporter, Roger Suzanen, is live at the scene. Roger, what can you tell us that's happening there?
Well, good morning, Tracy. This crash happened about 3 hours ago, but there is still a pretty large police presence here on Deep River Road. I'm going to step aside and show you the scene. You can see the road is closed. It's also called Route 354. And if you look, you can see those flashing lights. That's a car involved in the accident, and we have seen police walking around with flashlights, searching apparently for evidence. In fact, let's show you some video that captured from this scene earlier to give you a closer look at the damage. You can see significant damage to the car involved. We have been told this is a single vehicle crash. At this early hour, though, police have not shared with us any information about any potential injuries, but we can tell you it's closed between Jan Drive, so it will affect folks driving around in Colchester. But the fact that this scene, in fact, has grown over the last hours tells us that there's something pretty significant that happened here. And if you look back at that video, you could see some pretty extensive damage to the windshield of that vehicle. We're going to continue to track new information about this story. Obviously, police are here at the scene. We'll try to get more information from them. And, of course, we'll share it with you right away on this developing story. Reporting live in Colchester this morning, I'm your reporter, Roger. Suzanne in Channel 3 Eyewitness News. I'll send it back to you.
All right, thank you, Roger. This morning, we are also working to learn what caused the crash in Rocky Hill. Police were on West Street near I-91 South on the ramp there for multiple hours last night and early this morning. They say multiple people were hurt, but they should be okay. Right now, Hartford police are investigating after they say a man was shot multiple times. Police say it happened last night on Sisson Avenue. EMS took the man to the hospital, but he should be okay. No word on any suspects. Also now this morning, a woman's body has been located more than 2 months after police say she intentionally drove into the Connecticut River. Police say she was found near the riverbank in Haddam Meadows State Park. Police found her car in the riverbank in February. Also new this morning, President Donald Trump has signed an executive order that could cut money from NPR and PBS. The order demands the Corporation for Public Broadcasting stops federal funding for both networks. The corporation has a budget of over $500 million for public TV and radio. Well, this morning, President Trump has nominated Mike Waltz as U.S. ambassador to the United Nations after the president removed him from his role as national security advisor. It comes as Waltz added a journalist to a Signal group chat discussing private war plans.
The question is whether the right person's being held accountable. I think there has to be accountability for the mistakes and the errors that have been made, but I think the Secretary of Defense ought to bear that responsibility.
Secretary of State Marco Rubio will serve as the interim national security advisor. Well, today the state is honoring firefighters for their heroic efforts battling last year's massive Hawthorne brush fire. You might remember over 70 departments from our state fought the fire for weeks on rocky terrain in Berlin. At today's ceremony, Governor Ned Lamont will also present a flag to Robert Sharkovich Sr.'s family, the Wethersfield firefighter who died in the line of duty. Now to a big regional story. A large brush fire on Cape Cod is now contained. The Army National Guard says the fire started as a controlled burn at Camp Edwards, but the flames moved fast, prompting them to request assistance.
I work on the other military base over there, and it was pretty crazy yesterday morning too. I'm working the overnight shift, and I got out, it was like, you couldn't even see in the parking lot.
Locals are hopeful the smoke and fire will be out soon. Well, this morning, a bill to increase access to reproductive health care is moving forward at the state capitol. The new proposal would allow minors to receive contraceptive and pregnancy-related care without permission from their parents or guardians. Right now, that is required for this type of care. And in Waterbury right now, police are putting Honda owners on alert. Police say there are thieves stealing rims and tires right off the cars. And police say the thieves are targeting Honda Accord Sport models. They're warning you to park in well-lit areas and never leave your keys in your car and use wheel locks to make it harder for thieves to remove your tires. Well, if you're looking to get outside with the family this weekend, you can head to Meriden Hubbard Park for the city's annual Daffodil Festival. Tens of thousands of people are expected to enjoy the rides, the games, and the local shopping. The event runs all weekend, starting tomorrow at 10 a.m.
You know, Trace, I think the weather will cooperate for that.
In the morning?
Yeah.
Good.
Especially, you know, there's a chance for scattered showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon. They're going to be hit or miss. They're not going to be in every town, but we do run the risk for some stronger storms tomorrow afternoon into the evening. So if you're out out and about and you see lightning or hear thunder, just like this morning, you want to remain indoors. Temperatures out there this morning, they're nice. Upper 40s, low 50s. Typical overnight low is about 44. We're doing a lot better than that. Yesterday, we were up from the day before. Today, we're up from yesterday. And look at Danbury, 14 degrees better. And the winds are basically calm, so there's not a lot of wind out there. But we are expecting some gusts today, between 17 and 22 miles an hour. This is a little bit later on this afternoon. So it is going to be a bit breezy during the day today and a bit muggier and humid with the winds out of the southwest today. Temperatures will top out between 70 and 79. Some towns in inland Connecticut could get to 80 degrees a little bit later on this afternoon. I'll be back with your full forecast coming up in just a bit. In the meantime, Trace, we'll send it back to you.
All right, let's take a look at the stories coming up. A new report breaking down if a West Haven officer was justified in a deadly shooting. And students in Newington are heading back to class today following yesterday's scary evacuation. Plus, we're telling you about a new injury linked to your cell phone use. You're watching Eyewitness News. We'll be right back.